Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Red Radio. Our first guest tonight is Robbie Ammo Fishing Net. What's going on, Robbie?
What's up? How you doing, Mitch?
How long have you been painting live performances?
Since I got out of college, I guess 2009, 2010.
Oh man, I was way off. I was gonna say like, what was that, like late 70s?
I'm old, but I was born in the 70s.
So you've probably like painted what were we talking, like maybe like 800 performances since then? Way over that?
Yeah, way over that. Yeah.
An easy 3,000.
Yeah, close to that.
So there's 3,000 paintings out there that you've done of a band playing live or a musician playing live.
Yeah, well, probably more than that. I don't know. I'm pretty productive. Yeah.
But this is all you do.
Yes.
Is it your only focus is painting live performances, or do you do like other?
I do weddings and special events, and I've done a birthday party, stuff, whatever.
So do you ever
for hire? Yeah.
Do you ever like prepare like works for a gallery?
I've had a few shows, a couple different colleges and stuff. I had one at South Alabama, and the week before COVID was the opening. They canceled it, so I hung a show. Nobody saw it yet. Was gonna have the opening, then COVID happened, and then while COVID was happening, I took it down. It was kind of disappointing, I guess. But
I would imagine that, like, for art galleries, it'd be really great to have someone like you who's constantly active in, performing, not performing the art, but like you're out there painting,
Yes.
like pretty much someone can get you every weekend at a bar or a gig or a venue somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
But then to have a gallery where, I don't know, like, I guess I'm thinking, like, I'm seeing your work in a gallery,
Mm-hmm.
and is there somebody playing live, and you're in the gallery painting them
I actually
at
did.
your own gallery show?
I had a show. I did. I had a show. It was a few years ago at JD's campus, and I had Kenan set up, and I set up in front of him and painted him, and that's how I paid him for the playing. Was I gave him the painting? Yeah.
That's one
Barter,
way
I guess. Yeah.
Yeah. He's a cool guy.
Yeah, he is. He's a cool guy.
Give him some peanuts. Have you been like a visiting artist for a lot of the like JD and the South Alabama and the universities around here?
Just a few shows. That's it. Yeah, not really a visiting artist, I don't guess. Yeah.
It's kind of hard to find residential artists. I mean, it's like we have them, but they're at home painting, and they don't really like seem to come on the radar until they have like a gallery showing, like at the Ore or something.
Yeah, I mean, I've had shows that's not music related and stuff. I've been working on a book for too long about the Waffle House.
So for you, Robbie, it seems like the tables are a little bit turned, because instead of you having gallery showings and getting on people's radar, you're having your own gallery showings every weekend when you go. Because of the last couple of times I've got to see you at a show at with Spring Fling and Red Sky, you bring your other artworks and set them out around you.
Yeah, not all the time, but festivals like that. Yeah, I do.
It's a great way to like self-advertise while you're doing the work.
Yeah. I have a stack of them and I keep in the van. If somebody says, "Oh, what all you got?" and I was like, "Oh, let's go look." Show them all in the van.
So how does it work? Do you just look up shows that are happening that weekend that you want to go to, or do the bands reach out to you and say, "Hey, would you mind coming and sitting in our set?" Or does the venue or the promoter like contact you and say, "You want to come out to the bar this weekend and do like 3 or 4 bands?"
Yeah, all that.
All the
bit of yeah, all the above. Yeah, most of the time I just kind of pick what I want to do, but then I have things that people have requested me to go to or whatever, and I'm penciling in or whatever.
So for anyone who's not familiar with Robbie Amonat's paintings, Robbie comes to a live performance and he paints while the band's playing. So if the band has a 30-minute set, that painting happens within 30 minutes. It's not like he spends 2 hours, 2 weeks, 2 months working on that one painting. It happens in that set amount of time, and once the band's done, the painting's done.
Yes, I hate 30-minute sets.
Does it stress you out?
Yes. I'm fast, but I have to be too fast. It's almost impossible to do a 30-minute set.
And you're working with acrylics, right?
Yes, acrylic. Well, mixed media, mostly acrylics. Yeah.
So you like it when the bands have like an hour and a half, 2 hour set, and you got a little bit more time to.
A 4-hour set. I had time. A much different painting for a 4-hour set than a.
You can add a little bit more detail to it.
Yeah, it dries during set breaks, and I go on top of it and throw in details and stuff.
Are there any upcoming shows or venues that you're gonna be painting at?
I'm doing the Piney Woods Picnic up in Richmond, I believe it is, or somewhere up in Mississippi, and then the Homegrown Festival and Dixie, Mississippi, and then they're all like camping festivals, whatever, weekend deals, and then the Opelika Songwriters Festival. I'm supposed to be doing that and different things.
Now,
got a pretty busy fall.
Speaking of different things, the rumor on the street is you're working on a music video. Is that right?
Yeah.
Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, my buddies, the Royal Horses, allowed me to take one of their songs from their upcoming album and do a video of it. And
whose idea was this?
It was on the way to the. I hopped in the van with them and at the Floribama and rode to Jackson to the We Are 74 and rally at the state capitol. And during the van ride over there, we kind of all came up with the idea. It was a good idea.
That's awesome. It was concocted on the way to the show.
Yeah. Yeah.
And now it's happening.
Yes.
Robbie, thank you so much. Where can people check or contact you and check out the works that you have for sale?
My email is ihavebrushes.will.travel, all little letters, at gmail.com. And then Facebook, I have a page, Amanet Art, or you can friend me at my name, whatever. I'm very bad at the technology, so.
But good at painting.
Yes. See me at a show. I got a ton of them for sale.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Robbie, thank you so much for coming on Ready Radio. Stick around, everybody.
Yes.
Hey, what's up? I'm Scott. I am the music writer for Coast Observer, and I've been doing that for about 9 going on 10 years now. I went to a show at Kirk's Bazaar, watched a couple of metal bands play, and then I just happened to answer an ad that Coast Observer was looking for a writer, and I had written an article on the Kirk's Bazaar show for a local publication called Gulf Music Scene at the time, and I forwarded what I wrote to Shelley at the Observer. She liked it, and then I've been on board ever since, and writing 1 to 2 features a month for the print publication as well as our live blog. There's usually a difference between kind of what we're going for. Like if I'm doing a feature on a band, it has a little bit of a news element to it as far as what's happening that particular month with the band. But I also usually like to profile the band and just make it kind of an evergreen piece that somebody could go back and refer to for band history and things like that, because it's going to run for the entire month. And then also a lot of the times with being print publication, people usually like to have that and keep it, and sometimes people will even hang it on their wall or something like that. You know, it's like a piece. So I try to make it where it lasts. If we're doing something that's more internet-based, like with the Coast Observer live blog or my other blogs on the side, any other kind of freelance work, it might be a little bit shorter, more news-oriented or video-based or things like that. But there's definitely a little bit of a difference in writing for the long-term print or the shorter-term consumable blog. So usually, as far as this goes, and let me say I've written about, I don't know, damn near every major band on the coast that's been around here. But I've never written about a band that I disliked. I don't go and write a puff piece on somebody. Like, you've got something about you that I respect, even if it's not. I'm a hard rock guy, so I prefer, and I am more knowledgeable about hard rock music. But I mean, as far as anything else, country, or I've played in cover bands before. Anything else, I mean, I can respect a whole variety of genres, and we do cover everything. And if I write about you, I'm going to find something about you that I like, or it's just not going to get written, basically. So, and as far as being a musician myself, it definitely gives me a solid foundation as far as what I'm looking at and how you play and what I can compare to. And there are a bunch of very, very talented musicians around here who just totally blow me away. And it's also a really fun educational experience for me, because I've talked to some fantastic singers, some fantastic guitar players, fantastic drummers like Scott. I've interviewed at least 6 times, I'm sure. And yeah, you've paid a few of my bills there, man. And but yeah, it's definitely, I would say, helped me out as a musician just to be able to go out and network and meet with so many people. Well, so in addition to many of the fantastic local bands that we have around here, we have covered several of the more high-profile bands that have come through, and a few of those have been like, actually, there were a few down. We had Rob Halford from Judas Priest. I got to interview him. That was huge. Tommy Chong, I interviewed him while he was on a movie set. We've got, let's see, Dean DeLeo from Stone Temple Pilots, Vertical Horizon, Better Than Ezra. We've gone to cover for the last, well, pre-COVID, for the previous 5 years, we've gone and provided coverage for Voodoo Fest and Welcome to Rockville. We've got a Hangout Fest before, and I've covered several bands that were playing there. And that's actually been the most fun part as far as just going to music festivals. And I'm sure you guys, as music lovers, I mean, festivals are amazing. Like, the more immersive it is. They're like the biggest thing in music. If you can go to a festival, hang out for the weekend, camp out, catch bands all day. So being a music writer has definitely allowed me to do that and meet amazing people along the way. So I would definitely put that as a highlight in addition to being able to talk to some of the high-profile acts that do come to Mississippi. So usually, as I said, if I'm writing about you, or if you get chosen to write about, and it's not just for me, this is some free advice to any band trying to get any kind of PR or documentation from any sort of journalist. If you've got a solid foundation with quality tracks, start there. But usually the bands that come across my way, either they just have generated some buzz and they've got something going on, they just released a single, they are getting a lot of shares on social media, they've just played a high-profile gig, they've gotten something that generated some buzz. There's a story there, because my whole thing is to write stories. So if you've got a story to tell, we're halfway there. And then aside from that, just reach out to me, or anybody. Usually most of it just starts with an email. If you got a solid band and you want some coverage, put a good email together, make a phone call, and reach out. And there are journalists out there who are looking for people to write about. So just ask. I've always had an interest in writing for a long time, even before I was a musician, and so most of the writing I do, though I'm technically freelance, I write primarily for the Observer. I do other things, and I'll occasionally venture outside of music, but music is more or less something that I'm the closest to, especially after being a part of the Gulf Coast scene for all these years. So that is primarily what I write about. But I do occasionally venture out and do other things, and I'm definitely always open to broadening my horizons as far as writing about different things, even fiction or anything else like that.
Books and stuff.
Yeah, sure. One day, I'm a huge procrastinator as far as that goes. I don't know. It would take me 6 years to write a book for real, but if Shelley didn't give me a deadline.
Yeah.
I'll just say that I've had an absolute blast over these last several years, meeting so many of the amazing musicians on the coast and so many of the amazing musicians who have come to the coast. And I'm not going to lie, for a little while I felt like there's a little bit of curse because a lot of these bands have broken up. So most of the bands that I've written about are no longer bands, but some of them have stuck it out. But that's going to happen after a long time. But anyway, no, it's been fantastic. I've gotten to meet some very, very cool people and gotten to go some very, very cool places doing this. And just being tied in with the Gulf Coast music scene has actually just been a great highlight of my life. So it's been fantastic. And just everybody keep doing what you're doing and keep making Mississippi and the Gulf Coast especially an amazing place for music.
Oh, this is called Brains. There was someone here, I'm pretty sure, I can't quite remember anymore, but I'm feeling different than the way I think I felt before. Didn't leave me roses on the bed, left a puzzle piece instead, took the brains right out my head. Now I don't know just what it means to say that you're in love, but I got a list of conversations I'm afraid you might bring up, and I got a gun against my head, saying no one will believe you, and my heart is feeling see-through when you kiss me on the mouth. Can somebody please just tell me what the fuck it's all about? There is someone here, I'm pretty sure, I can't quite remember anymore, but I'm checking all the windows and I lock the doors. Here in the cul-de-sac, flying lower middle class, where the kids all walk to school and the teachers never ask about the things they draw and the stories that they tell, because your mama's really pretty and your daddy's doing well.
everybody. I got Bad Mood, and they are in a great mood on Red Radio tonight. What's going on, guys?
Hi.
Nothing.
So this is your new project, your new brainchild.
Yes, this is shit, I don't know what to say.
The last time that you and Justin were on here was for Northern Light Suplex, and now you're back on Red Radio with Bad Mood. So this is a new project, a new band for you guys.
Yeah, this is the first thing that we've done out as Bad Mood, other than just work on songs at home and like run social media. It's our first time kind of like presenting ourselves as a band to everyone. So.
And the theme is like songs based on Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, right? That's the attire, right?
Precisely, you got it.
Yeah, that's why you got Corey in the band. We're 23 miles outside. I can see Corey right now with the pipe and the glasses. So we were talking a little bit about like the material that's inspired the songs because with the name Bad Mood, I'm thinking, oh, these are going to be like angry songs, but it's like you know, sweet, beautiful songs. In the first song you played, it kind of had some bitterness to it. And I was wondering what that song's about, what the other songs that you're playing on Red Radio tonight are about.
It's kind of ambiguous. I really try to write in a way that
Secrets.
that satisfies my need to express something unpleasant or whatever the emotion may be in my life, but written in a way that someone who's not me or hasn't gone through that specific thing maybe can still relate to it or apply it to themselves in a way that feels personal.
You being this artist is force, and I've said this before when you were on Croncast and when you were on Red Radio before. You have so much to bring to the table, and I want to say it's really freaking cool with Corey and Justin, because I feel like the way that they play, you know, in this, it's kind of like, hey, we're gonna like get out the way and let you know, put all of this forth to express and communicate, you know, these sentiments, which, you know, I mean, that dynamic, that's a hard dynamic to do, but if you're working with really good guys, these guys, it's done really well. And so far, the 3 songs that I heard you guys play today were all great, wonderful.
Thank you. Yeah, I cannot think of 2 better people to work on a project with. They both bring a lot of unique qualities to the project that I don't think I could have found in anybody else.
You're saying like Justin had to pass a test or something, right?
Yeah, a written exam that I slid through a Scantron machine.
You're like, Justin, what are the 2 presets I need to do this? And he's like, oh, it's this, huh? And you're like, oh, you're in.
It was way more of a process than you probably think it is, actually. Like trying to, because like we do work together well in Northern Light Suplex, but it is like a different, you know, dynamic with this but at the same time, it's like we are all like artistic in different ways, and she's like by far like the most, you know, flamboyant with it, I guess, with like all the different ways that she can express herself and stuff. And so we just help her get the ship to where she needs it to go in a way, you know.
Exactly. Like I was surprised because like I was joking when you guys first got here, and I was, you know, Jade was saying like how I was joking about you guys living under the same roof. You know, it's like I imagine like y'all be like in each other's shit, like, you know, you're working on this, she's working on this, like all the time. And she was like saying, no, it's kind of like we work independently and then sometimes cross paths. And I was like, that's really cool, but I would have never thought that, you know, before. But it's like sometimes that's just like you know, that's how you work. You have to work, you know. But
even with this, that's how this is pretty much. Just because like we get together a couple times a week when we can to like work it out as a group. But like if it comes to like doing something at home, it's not like me and her go sit in the room. It's like I'll hear her working on it, and it's like she'll do her parts, and then I'll come in and I might listen to it and be like, oh, that's cool, you know. And then when she's done, sometimes I'll sit down, I'll do my parts, and you know, it's like you can hear it. It's not a huge house, you know. It's like you can hear it when we're working on it, but we don't always have to be like sitting over each other and being like, well, what about this or this, you know. So that makes it cool, I guess, you know.
And I think it's also a really great like polarized dynamic against Northern Light, or contrast against Northern Lights, because I was saying you go to a Northern Lights show and you expect the high energy, performance, and with the songs being kind of punk rooted. But with this, it's very, very chill. It's just like man, I want to grab some coffee or a beer, and like I feel like I can catch my breath listening and watching you guys play.
Oh yeah, it was really important to me when I decided that I was going to put Bad Mood together as like an entity as opposed to just me working on songs in my spare time, that it be so different from Northern Lights Suplex as to not compete in any way. It essentially was somewhere for me to put everything that I knew wasn't right for Northern Lights Suplex in a way that still allowed me to give my all to Northern Lights Suplex as well, because they're so different. I can give 100% to both at the same time and will almost never overlap or take away from one another so far.
I think the last time you were on Red Radio, I was asking about a follow-up to your solo album that you came out with, if this was kind of parallel to those future endeavors that you were working on towards the next solo album.
Yeah, it started out, I was just going to continue doing some solo stuff, since Somewhere You're Not, the solo EP I did, I feel like I just kind of like found my footing. That was like my test run and home recording and just figuring things out. And then I was working on Brains, I think, and then I was having trouble getting the sound I wanted for something, and Justin came through just like offhand, and he was like, oh, you should try like this, this amp setting layered on top of this with this other one in the background. And then I was just like, yo, like that's a good idea. And I was just like, this should be its own thing. And that's when it became me and him putting a name to it as Bad Mood, as like an art project and act, as opposed to just like me doing songs. And then when Red Cap came in, it was just like it all fit together so well, and now I feel like it's organically become its own thing. I don't necessarily like decide the turns that it takes anymore like I would with solo stuff. It just does what it does,
That's what I tell my wife all the time, that I'm just full of good ideas, and then she just kind of looks at me like, raises her eyebrow like, sometimes. But Corey, so you're like in 20 bands, and you got all the time in the world to just do side projects.
Really
left
don't.
and right. So when I saw you at Frets for Pets, I was asking, when you guys gonna play? What's going on with Bad Mood, the new band? And you're like, I don't know, man. We're just taking our time. And he's like, I just got to be in a band with Jade and Justin, man. I
honestly,
can't pass it up.
We were leaving Phil's house, and it was when we recorded the theme song for my buddy Chris Papp's tag team, and we were heading home. And he's like, "Hey, you want to hear this?" I'm like, "Sure," because when anytime I've been hanging out with this kid forever, and he was like, "This is some shit Jade's doing," and can I cuss on here?
That's another question.
Whoops.
Is that okay?
It is perfectly
Sorry.
fine.
That changes everything.
Yeah, because I'm horrible with it. But he was like, check this shit out. It's me and Jade came up with it, and he's playing. I was like, I got to do this with you. Like, you guys got room? He was like, absolutely. Because it was flowed away that he played me, and it was a very rough. It was like the very beginning of it, but it was so like it just grabbed me. I was like, this is good, and it's like you were saying earlier. It's so different from really anything that's going on, and I was like, man,
that's like the best part when you like actually get to like. Collaborate with people that you're like really excited to play with.
I've been trying to do something with this dude forever, and then her, there's
like
too much
so
talent
much
at this
more
house.
exciting.
Yeah, they have too much talent in their house. Their kid sings on key. It's incredible. I'm like, I got to be involved in this somewhere,
Who's teaching Stylus how to sing?
Oh my god, that dude just runs in and like starts beating on the drums and shit. Like he does it all himself.
But as she was saying, since I've only been over probably maybe a dozen times, and it's just so comfortable. Right. Spinal Cord. Like she just started playing it one day.
You guys got a new jam room, right? Is it the new jam room that's like super comfortable?
Yeah. Well, like
not outside in the garage.
Like we were working on Brains and Float Away, and then she started playing Spinal Cord, and I just started playing along, and then next thing I know, there's drum tracks, and I'm like, what's going on?
This is it.
It's very easy to be in this, as weird as that sounds, because this is, anybody knows me, this is totally different from anything I've ever done, but it just fit. Like it was very comfortable.
That's when it was
just
in the
good.
right place. That's how I feel about Scott.
Yeah. We love you, Scott.
He's so easy to play with.
Well, in that case.
I know you from Superstar Fat Beat,
Yep.
and when I first encountered you, you're like this crazy spastic wildcat man, like rah, la, 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 like back and forth, and just like yelling at the top of your lungs. And I'm like, man, this guy is wow. And, but to see you in
old and
this part, I can
not
like you being in Falls from Grace. It's like, that makes sense. There's throwing down.
Yeah.
But then I'm like, this is like so chill. I'm like, holy cow.
Yeah.
Corey can be.
It was actually, I'm still, like, even getting here today, I was like, man, I hope I don't mess this up. You know what I mean? Because it's so, it's such a different tempo for me, but it's so fun to play. Like, the songs are so put together well. Like, it's just fun.
Yeah, it's awesome, man. It's awesome to see you in something like this.
Yeah.
Jay, Justin, Corey, thank you guys so much for coming on Red Radio. When are you guys playing again? Do you have another show lined up anytime?
No.
When can we expect to maybe hear another song come out from Bad Mood?
We're working on putting out our next song called Spinal Cord, which we played today. We're working on a song video package that hopefully we'll be able to put out in the next couple weeks.
You're a busy lady. Making videos, making side projects, making bands, making songs. You don't sleep, do you?
No.
Guys, thanks so much for coming on. This is Bad Mood on Red Radio, everybody. And I lost my voice again. Hey, everybody. I got Dimitri Curtis here from Frets for Pets. Man, Frets for Pets was a blast.
It was 3 days of all kinds of music, and we ended up raising just over $5,000.
That's like the most you've raised so far, right?
Yep. And that's as small. I mean, some people think it's a small number, but it's kind of like a pipeline.
No, that's a big number
for us. For years, we've been trying to reach that, and we finally did it. And
it's like 10 guitars for any of those bands that play.
We've with COVID and everything.
That's kind of tough to be up against.
Yeah, we had 2 months maybe to promote the bands that are playing at a 3-day festival at that, and it's like all in. Why not? Let's try it.
I mean, it turned out a success. I mean, despite the heat, despite this new wave of COVID, I mean, people still turned out. It still went down 3 days. I was a vendor, so I'm sitting there like on the side of the stage watching the whole time, watching bands, watching people, and watching vendors.
You had the best spot.
I had the best spot for all the action.
Yeah.
But so this is year number 5 for you.
6 technically, if we're not counting the.
Technically 6, and it keeps getting bigger and bigger every year. So do you think next year you'll have to go to? Because this was the first year that you went to 3 nights, right?
Yeah, first time we've done 3 nights.
So you think next year you'll have to go to 4 nights?
No, we're not doing that.
Why not? Come on, Dimitri.
Oh man,
let's blow it up.
Man.
Let's do multiple locations next year. Let's do
It's
B-Lux.
tempting. It's
let's
tempting.
do B-Lux and the Juke Joint.
Oh man,
I'm gonna make you $10,000.
if you can promise that, we'll do 2
Make
points.
5 at Juke Joint and 5 at B-Lux.
So what we'll do, we'll do one at the Juke Joint in the summertime, and then we'll do one in the wintertime at B-Lux. That
We'll
way
send-
he can fight. He's gonna sweat to death.
We'll send Mark to B-Lux, and I'm going to be at the B-Lux one because that will be the air conditioned one.
Yeah. Yeah.
But no, I mean it's so great. Like I was watching you on WLX that night, and if you go to WLX and you type in Frets for Pets, they come up like with a couple of interviews of you from the past couple of years, and you can see like where it kind of was. And I think it was his second year, and they interviewed you, and then the one from the other weekend where they interviewed you, and you're like, yeah, it's getting crazy. I'm getting more stressed out. It's super hot, but it's working.
Yeah, the heat was brutal. Luckily, I had a great team. I mean, I had Mark, Tanya, Rachel, and Alex. Man, couldn't have done it without them. I had a couple friends help out, Troll, Jazz, Nikki. I need a street team. If you're watching this, I need a street team.
Everybody get on Dimitri's street team now.
Yeah, I need
Blow
help.
up his email for Frets for Pets.
Bad. It's a lot of work, and it's hot.
The coordination and God bless the bands for playing, because like there was a band like Teratoma played in full gear, like mask, hoods, everything. I was like, somebody's gonna have a heat stroke.
Yeah.
And nobody died, nobody had a heat stroke, but I couldn't. But the dedication of the bands playing is amazing.
I didn't expect them to play in that. Like, I saw them at B-Lux one time, and they had the cloak get up thing, and so y'all playing with that again? I was like, yeah. It's like, props to y'all. 'Cause it was the middle of the day too when they played, like all sun.
I think I was talking to you about like it was like 2 or 3 years ago. Like I wanted to play Frets for Pets, but you guys were booked or something. And but I had played in another band that got on to play. And then last year we had to do the because of COVID, we had to do the online. So we did it with through Phil's studio. A couple bands played in there, and then he hosted it live. And the band I was playing with at the time was hoping we were going to get to play, and it didn't work out. And then this year, finally, I was like, God damn it. I'm going to get up there and burn an acoustic guitar if I have to. But we got to play. We were technically the last band to play on Sunday night, and people were still out, man, on a Sunday night. And I'm like, no, Monday, people got to go to work. No, people were still there. Even TNT that played after us, people were like down on the floor in front of him dancing.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's cool.
It's like hardcore, like, to the last minute.
Yeah, it's crazy, man.
People love your Frets for Pets, Dimitri.
I'm trying. Thank you for the love. Like I don't know what to say to that. It's cool. It's cool. Like,
So what are you thinking? What are you thinking for next year for real?
right now, another 3-day event. Like I said earlier, the rappers, the hip hop thing kind of stole the show.
Yeah, that was a big hit.
Skinny, Neighbors, and
Skinny Bragg and TNT, man. I was like telling Mandy, I was like, get these guys on
Like,
Red Radio for sure.
The three of them in a concert would be amazing.
Have they those three guys, have they performed at Belux before?
T has, and T did Frets for Pets year before last, I believe. Neighbors, same thing. And it's the first time I had Skinny, but it's the first time I had all three of them on the same event, and it was cool.
Do you think there might be anything in the works for maybe a mid-season Frets for Pets, like awareness, like maybe like at Belux to kind of in between the annual show?
I'm contemplating it. I've had a lot of people ask. I don't know. I enjoy the one. This is the event of the year kind of thing. Not trying to brag or anything, but it's like Joe from Broken Steelings. He told me like this is the one time a year I get to see so many people that I haven't seen in a year or two.
Yeah.
It's
great because of the variety of bands. It's kind of like you get a snapshot of everything current in the area geographically.
And Idol, they came from Philadelphia, Mississippi, and drove 3 hours to play the show in summer in the South Mississippi. And in the past, I've had bands come from New Orleans and Pensacola, and of course, they get familiar with it and have people from those areas come and they come hang out and support the cause. Like, it's really cool.
Oh, the one thing I wanted to ask you was what about streaming the concert?
So we thought about doing it this year. Joey was gonna take care of that for us, but had some issues. But it's all good.
He had a baby.
Yeah. plus
that's kind of a big issue.
But no, we talked about it and we want to do it.
So maybe next year that might be another feature
for sure. Even if it's just an audio stream. It's again going back to the street team. It's another project I'm going to need help with.
I feel like all the people who can't make it because they have to work, but they can listen still while they're working, it's just another aspect to feed it constantly. But man, I had such a great time, and I can't wait again until next year to keep seeing it get bigger and bigger and bigger and help out in any way possible.
Thank you.
Thanks, Dimitri. This is Dimitri Curtis. Look for him next year for Frets for Pets.
Wrap me up in cellophane, save me for I got a soft spot for hostility, things that make me sad. Tell me I'm the best love that you ever had. Dust me off when you get bored, shivers down my spinal cord. Much more than you could afford, keep me in your duffel bag. Please don't be afraid of me. Meet me on the sofa bed. Hold me like somebody's holding a gun against your head. It's been a while since I got me pictures on a TV screen. Nothing here's what it seems. I'm just in the neighborhood. Don't wait up, you're running late. Stuck behind a dinner plate. Take my car into the trees, turn it into firewood. Please don't be afraid.